The Mystery of Spirit Husband. Once upon a time, in a small village nestled between rolling hills and lush forests, there lived a young woman named Amina. Amina was known throughout the village for her beauty and kindness. She lived with her elderly mother, who often worried about her daughter's future. Amina spent her days helping her mother with chores, fetching water from the river, and tending to their small garden. Despite their humble life, they were happy and content. But as Amina grew older, her mother began to worry about finding a suitable husband for her. One day, while Amina was at the river, she saw a handsome young man standing on the opposite bank. He was dressed in fine clothes and had a warm, friendly smile. Amina had never seen him before, and she was curious. The young man waved to her and crossed the river to speak with her. "Hello," he said. "My name is Malik. I have recently moved to the village and couldn't help but notice you. You are very beautiful." Amina blushed and smiled shyly. They talked for a while, and Amina found Malik to be charming and kind. He told her he lived alone in a small house at the edge of the village and invited her to visit him sometime. Over the next few weeks, Amina and Malik spent more and more time together. They would meet by the river, walk through the forest, and talk for hours. Malik always seemed to know the right thing to say to make Amina laugh, and she found herself falling in love with him. One evening, as the sun was setting, Malik took Amina's hand and said, "Amina, will you marry me?" Amina's heart leapt with joy. She nodded, and Malik promised to visit her home the next day to ask her mother's permission. The next morning, Malik arrived at Amina's home with gifts and a humble request for her hand in marriage. Amina's mother was surprised but pleased. She gave her blessing, and preparations for the wedding began. The wedding was a grand celebration. The entire village came to see Amina and Malik exchange vows. Amina's mother was happy to see her daughter so joyful, but she couldn't shake a feeling of unease about Malik. There was something mysterious about him, something she couldn't quite understand. After the wedding, Amina moved into Malik's house. It was a beautiful home, filled with elegant furniture and surrounded by a lovely garden. Amina felt like she was living in a dream. But soon, strange things began to happen. Every night, Malik would leave the house and not return until dawn. Amina asked him where he went, but he would only smile and say, "It's a secret, my love. But don't worry, I'll always come back to you." Amina tried to ignore her worries, but they gnawed at her. She noticed that Malik never ate with her and seemed to avoid the sunlight. She began to suspect that her husband was hiding something from her. One night, determined to uncover the truth, Amina followed Malik when he left the house. She watched from a distance as he walked through the forest and disappeared into an old, abandoned graveyard. Her heart pounded with fear, but she was determined to find out what was going on. She crept closer and saw Malik standing by a grave. To her horror, he began to transform. His handsome features faded, revealing a pale, ghostly figure. Malik was a ghost. Amina gasped and stepped back, but the sound alerted Malik. He turned and saw her, his eyes filled with sadness. "Amina," he said softly. "I didn't want you to find out this way." Amina was terrified and confused. "What are you?" she asked, her voice trembling. "I am a ghost," Malik confessed. "Many years ago, I was wronged and could not find peace. I wandered the earth, searching for a way to break the curse that binds me. When I saw you, I fell in love and hoped that your love could set me free." Amina was shocked and didn't know what to say. She loved Malik, but she was frightened by the truth. She ran back to their house and locked herself inside, her mind racing. Malik returned at dawn, and Amina confronted him. "Why didn't you tell me?" she demanded. "I was afraid you would leave me," Malik said, his eyes filled with sorrow. "I love you, Amina. I thought that maybe, with time, you would love me enough to break the curse. Amina was torn. She loved Malik, but she was afraid of living with a ghost. She needed time to think. She went to her mother and told her everything. Her mother listened carefully and said, "Love is a powerful force, my child. If you truly love Malik, perhaps there is a way to help him find peace. But you must be sure of your feelings. Only true love can break such a curse." Amina returned to Malik's house and told him she needed time to think. Malik respected her decision and gave her space. Days turned into weeks, and Amina struggled with her emotions. She missed Malik's presence and realized that she still loved him, despite his true nature. One night, Amina had a dream. She saw a wise old woman who told her, "True love can break any curse. If you want to help Malik, you must show him that your love is stronger than any fear." Amina woke up with a sense of purpose. She went to the graveyard where she had seen Malik transform and waited for him. When he appeared, she walked up to him and took his hand. "Malik," she said, "I love you. I am not afraid anymore. Let's find a way to break this curse together." Malik's eyes filled with tears of gratitude. "Thank you, Amina. Your love gives me hope." They went to see the village elder, a wise man who knew many ancient secrets. The elder listened to their story and said, "There is a way to break the curse, but it will not be easy. You must prove your love by completing 3 difficult tasks." Amina and Malik agreed to do whatever it took. The elder gave them the first task. They had to find a rare flower that only bloomed once every 10 years, deep in the heart of the forest. Amina and Malik set out on their journey. The forest was dark and filled with dangers, but they faced them together. They encountered wild animals and treacherous paths, but their love gave them strength. After many days, they found the flower and brought it back to the elder. The second task was even more challenging. They had to climb the highest mountain and retrieve a crystal that was guarded by a fierce dragon. Amina was afraid, but Malik held her hand and reassured her. They climbed the mountain, and when they faced the dragon, Malik bravely distracted it while Amina grabbed the crystal. They narrowly escaped with their lives. The final task was the hardest of all. They had to enter a cave of darkness and find a glowing stone that would light their way. The cave was filled with shadows and eerie sounds, but Amina and Malik held on to each other and pushed forward. When they found the stone, it shone brightly, and they knew they had succeeded. They returned to the elder, who smiled and said, "You have proven your love. The curse is broken." Malik began to transform before their eyes. His ghostly form faded, and he became human once more. Amina embraced him, tears of joy streaming down her face. "Thank you, Amina," Malik said. "Your love has saved me." They returned to the village.